Bulls Nation, let's go. The season opener for the Chicago Bulls. Close, competitive, energetic, defensive orientated, and the Bulls walked out with a victory. Their first season open victory in 5 years, and it hopefully shows the changing of the way the Chicago Bulls will approach games in the future. What a tremendous start to the season with a victory away from home against the Detroit Pistons, and let's talk all about it in this video. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Today, we've got a Chicago Bulls related video referring to the game reaction of our season opener. At the end of the day, was this a beautiful performance? No, it was not. Was this a performance that got you off your feet? Most times, probably not. However, with it all being said and done, the Chicago Bulls came out there and did what they were supposed to do and win in their first game of the season, win the season opener, and just goes to show, hopefully, we can see a lot more victories in the future, and it all started tonight with this win. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the game performance that the Bulls had today. Who was your player of the game, and overall just the thoughts about the game in general. We will be talking a lot in this video, positives and negatives alike. But for anybody that's going to tell me in the comments below, or maybe even just tell me with my friends and everything, that it's just the Pistons, I do not want to hear that it's just the Pistons. I don't want to hear that we should be beating the Pistons. Of course, the Bulls did win this game. We won this game 94-90. But this game means a lot to the Chicago Bulls, and there's many reasons why. This is obviously a season opener away from home against a Detroit Pistons side that has high hopes for their future. The crowds are back in Detroit. The fans are there. The players are energetic. And it was just an energy-filled game, which led to a very low-scoring game in general, because we both brought defensive pressure. We both brought energy. And we both played very, very well. You cannot hide the performance that the Detroit Pistons had. They played very well, and they deserve the praise that they're going to get. They had a really strong performance today, and I'm not going to discredit their performance whatsoever. But the Chicago Bulls, with all the things stacked against us in this game, especially, we'll get into the referee calls as well, I'm very happy with this victory, and I'm not going to lie, I'm excited to see what we could do in the future. But this was a good victory to have. Grind out performances, ladies and gentlemen. Even though we were not at our best, we were far from our best defensively, offensively, there were still things we need to work on. We grinded out a victory that we arguably should have. We should be beating the Pistons in terms of team quality. But in terms of the actual season open, of course, it's just a highlight game for the Detroit Pistons. They're back at home. They had a really good presentation. They got their players fired up, and they showed it. But let's talk about some of the positives and the negatives. The positives that I liked is that this game, in terms of the offense, was shared pretty evenly amongst our starters. A lot of our starters had some very good stats in this game. And this is something that goes to show the dynamic duo of how our team can play. We saw a lot of Zach Lavine and Nikola Vucevic pick and rolls in the two-man game, and it worked very effectively. We saw DeMar DeRozan making shots that we didn't necessarily see him make in the preseason. We saw how effective this team can be when Lonzo Ball plays aggressive. Lonzo Ball was not aggressive throughout the whole game, but in the fourth quarter, when Lonzo Ball made some shots, it became a little bit more aggressive on the offense. We saw how dangerous this team can be when Lonzo Ball is aggressive. Obviously, you saw Zach Lavine is still Zach Lavine. Just because we have 4 other players on the team that will be taking shots away from Zach Lavine does not mean he can't drop these points, because he damn sure dropped these points tonight, and he proved a lot of people that said he was going to, I guess, even players like me that I said he might not average 28 points per game this season. This is a good start to maybe going in that direction where he might be averaging a little bit more than that. Who knows? It's only one game. We can't go too much into it. But yes, Zach Lavine scored 34 points tonight. Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the bench as well. We went from a big lineup at the beginning with obviously Vucevic in the paint to a small ball lineup. I liked our bench defense today. I know we went a little bit smaller and we did end up getting majority of the points scored on us in the paint, but I like the switching, I like the intensity, I like the energy, I liked how we got a lot of steals, and I just like the way that the bench played when it comes to being as a little bit smaller. I liked the idea of having a smaller lineup in there. Of course, it's not going to work against every team, and to an extent, it didn't work in this game. You saw centers like Kelly Olynyk and Isaiah Stewart have really strong games for the Detroit Pistons. You saw Jeremy Grant get into the paint a lot. A lot of players did get into the paint, and that's where the bulk of our points ended up being scored up on us. But I like the idea of having a small lineup, and against certain teams, we could really have a strong say in the way that we play these games with that small lineup. A little bit of the negatives, there was no bench scoring whatsoever. Caruso had 3 points and Ayo had 7. We saw Alize Johnson play in this game, 0 points. Troy Brown Jr. played in this game, 0 points. We need better scoring off of this bench. For anybody that's going to tell me that Kobe White does not make this lineup or Kobe White does not suit this team, after this game, I could truly see the value of having Kobe White on this bench. We need more scoring off of this bench, because as good as the defense was, as good as we were able to make this game close and competitive, we weren't taking the lead for most of that game. Detroit had the lead most of that game. We needed our defense, and that's exactly what we got from that bench unit to keep us in the game. And of course, our starters took care of the offense. But when it comes to the bench unit, we need some bench scoring. We did not see good bench scoring from anybody on this bench today, except for Ayo, who had 7 points in very limited minutes. So of course, congratulations to Ayo. But outside of that, we need more. And of course, I mentioned the paint scoring from the Detroit Pistons. That goes down to Vucevic. It goes down to Alize Johnson. It goes down to the lack of switching on defense. Again, there was one play where they put DeMar DeRozan in the air. No one helped. There was a wide open spot for Kelly Olynyk to get a layup. And this is the stuff that the Chicago Bulls need to fix and need to resolve over time. Better interior defense, let's say, when it comes to future games. We need to see better from the Chicago Bulls in that area. And I want to talk about the referees today. Now, I don't want to be that guy. I never ever want to be that guy that goes at the refs and say that they did a terrible job. However, there were some really blatant and obvious calls that the Chicago Bulls did not get, that the Detroit Pistons definitely got. The Detroit Pistons were the favorites in terms of the umpires or the referees today. They got a lot of foul calls. There were a lot of those small, really non-existent fouls, but there were a lot of foul calls missed from the referees in terms of the Chicago Bulls, how it was slashing to the basket. Jeremy Grant was one where he literally was pushing DeMar DeRozan over. He extended his leg out, and he ended up getting, there was no foul call. Even though it's a clear foul, no foul call. There was an out-of-bounds play where it clearly went off of Jeremy Grant, and we ended up getting the wrong side of that as well. The first half, don't get me started on the first half when it comes to that situation. It felt like everything that we did was a no call. But of course, I don't want to be that guy. I hate when I have to talk about the referees. I hate when I have to do that, because we won the game. Let's be honest, we did win this game, but sometimes there's just certain things that you need to talk about, and the referees today was definitely one that I just simply could not get my head around. I don't know why the referees were doing what they were doing today, but again, we won the game, so I'm not going to speak too much more into it. But yeah, I think that's something that the referees need to look at and maybe improve upon in future games. Let's look at the individual performances today. We're going to start off with DeMar DeRozan, that had 17 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. DeMar DeRozan was very solid from the mid-range again. This is what he usually does. There were some questionable shots from DeMar DeRozan, and more of them were layups and poor layup selection in terms of what he could potentially have gotten if he passed the ball, or maybe even if he just took a better shot, maybe if he took a mid-range. But overall, I can't complain about DeMar DeRozan's game today. I thought he was very solid. He got 3 steals in today's game, which was sensational. And in the fourth quarter, it was really crucial, some of the steals that he got. Nikola Vucevic had 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists. Nikola Vucevic was around 7 from 21 from shooting, so his shooting numbers was very poor for the Chicago Bulls today, and that's something that at the end of the day, he said himself, it's not going to be a permanent thing per se. He does have starts to the season where he is missing really open shots. That's something we don't like to see, and it's something that unfortunately we are currently seeing. Nikola Vucevic, if he was much more efficient in today's game, I thought would have had a tremendous game offensively. Defensively, The weaknesses are still there. I don't need to go too much into the weaknesses. We all know what it is. The pick and roll defense, the paint defense in general. It doesn't seem like he's getting any better over time, but hopefully more patience. It's only the first game of the season. We can see better from Nikola Vucevic, but a very poor night defensively, a rough shooting night. His rebounding was spectacular, and his 4 assists were crucial as well. His playmaking is going to be huge for the Chicago Bulls. If he can average 3 to 4 assists on the offense every single night, it's going to be dangerous for this team where you have multiple people that can play make. And again, it just goes to show his crucialness on the offensive side of the ball. But defensively, he must improve. Simple as that. Zach Lavine, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Zach Lavine carried us today. Let's be honest, if Zach Lavine didn't have the scoring night that he had, and it was an effective, very efficient scoring night for Zach Lavine, this team would be down in the dumps right now, probably discussing a loss in our season opener. The first time in 5 years we've won a season opener. Zach Lavine was tremendous today in his scoring ability. He got some really good defensive displays as well with his steals and a block. It was just fantastic from Zach Lavine, an all-star, our best player, and he's showing it why in today's game. Without him, we're definitely talking about a loss, especially with the way that this game went. Lonzo Ball had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 block in today's game. Lonzo Ball defensively was this Lonzo Ball we all come to know. Defensively, he's a very good player. He kept in front of players like Jeremy Grant, all the way from, the Frank Jacksons and the Killian Hayes. He was really good defensively today. Not many errors in that way. Lonzo Ball needs to be more aggressive in his shot. His 6 rebounds and 4 assists, we all know that he's going to be able to play make and rebound for this team. But when Lonzo Ball is aggressive in his shot, this team became 10 times better than what it was when he wasn't aggressive. His fourth quarter, in my opinion, was the most vital fourth quarter performance from any player that we saw today. And of course, we did have Zach Lavine on the team. Lonzo Ball's aggression in the fourth quarter was exactly what we needed. He got some 3-point shots in there. He took a fadeaway off the glass, bank shot in for 2 points. It was just good to see. We need an aggressive Lonzo Ball, and we need to find ways where we could get Lonzo Ball more aggressive on this team, and hopefully that will come over time. We're just getting to know the players, know the team. Sometimes the point guard position is the hardest to gel with when it comes to a brand new team full of all these different players. He's still taking time to adjust, in my opinion, but that was a really good performance in the fourth quarter, and I'm very happy with that. Patrick Williams, another player we need to get more into the offense. 6 points and 1 rebound today. Now, I will discuss Patrick Williams a little bit later, but he played 28 minutes today, and he only had 6 points and 1 rebound. Rebounding wise, non-existent really, only with 1 and only 6 points. I'm going to get further into Patrick Williams, but we need to get him more in the offense. We cannot allow someone that has 28 minutes, very minimal shots on the team, and only 1 rebound. This is something that we're going to have to improve on later on. Alex Caruso had 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. Defensively, Alex Caruso was everywhere today, and he shows his quality in his hustle play, his ability to intercept passes, his physicality for his size. Everything you wanted to see from Alex Caruso defensively, you saw in this game. And there was a very good reason why he was in the fourth quarter playing really clutch minutes for the Chicago Bulls when we could have had different options. He was the one that we trusted. And that's what we will see in the future when we need that toughness, when we need that physicality, when we need that defensive edge in clutch situations. Alex Caruso is going to be our guy. And I think that's very easy to decipher just based on this game alone. And Ayo Dosunmu, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 block. The last player I'm going to be talking about today for individual performances, Ayo, I thought, was a sensational performer with 7 points in limited minutes. He does need to play a little bit more aggressive in his shot. There were some layups today that were questionable, got really bad blocks. And again, that will be showing on the Detroit Pistons highlight reels for probably a long time to come. However, Ayo is not afraid, and that's something that we need. We need Ayo to be fearless when it comes to playing games. He made a 3 today, which was great. Obviously, he did get his buckets as well. He got 2 straight layups in a row. It was great. It was beautiful. I love seeing Ayo play the way that he played today. I do think that he does need to go, if he's going to go for layups, especially layups that do have players in front of him, he needs to go He needs to attack the paint more physically than what he did. And that was the only weakness you could see, and it resulted in blocks. But I can't complain with Io today. Now let's talk about the must improve. I have two players for the must improve. I'm going to pick the main one is Patrick Williams, because I just feel like with 28 minutes played to be non-existent in this game is a bit poor. And it's not necessarily just Patrick Williams' fault. This team needs to make plays around Patrick Williams. He is a player that could be an effective spot-up shooter, yet he only had 6 points today. He didn't take many shots today. That's something that the Chicago Bulls need to work very hard in to try and get Patrick Williams more involved in the offense, and Patrick Williams needs to be more aggressive. A lot of shots that he could take, he did pass up. So these are the things that we need to look at for Patrick Williams and try to find a more, easier way for him to get involved in the offense, and also he needs to be more aggressive. These are two things we've had issues with Patrick Williams last year as well, not being involved in the offense and not being aggressive. These are two things that we might be seeing in future games. Hopefully this is a one-time thing, but I really want to see Patrick Williams improve in his aggressiveness, and of course the team needs to find him. It's not just Patrick Williams' fault when it comes to not being involved in the offense. He's not the ball handler. Very rarely is he the ball handler. He can't create his own shot, so the team needs to make shots for him. And the last one is Nikola Vucevic. Obviously, I'm not going to put him as the main must improve because that is going to be Patrick Williams, but Nikola Vucevic defensively, again, it's a bit of a struggle watching him play some defense, to be honest. I think that's where his main improvements need to lie. Defensively, he was not great tonight, and that's all I'm going to say on that situation. Our player of the game, straight and simple, easy as you like, Zach Lavine. Again, without Zach Lavine today, we would probably be talking about a loss, and rather an embarrassing loss as well, with some of the really poor performances that we had. Our turnovers today was really high, but nevertheless, Zach Lavine, when we needed him the most, we ended up getting the best version of Zach Lavine. And this is a really strong start to the season for him. And again, he did this with ease. It really felt like with ease. There were not many shots where I said, wow, Zach, how could you be taking that shot? Like last year, you saw a lot of poor shot selection from Zach Lavine. I didn't look at many shots from Zach Lavine today and say, wow, that's a bad shot. But at the end of the day, 34 points, it speaks for itself. He was efficient, he was effective, and he is the player of the game. The Bulls' record is 1-0. The first time in 5 years people can say the Chicago Bulls are 1-0, which is fantastic to see, and it wasn't guaranteed this game. This is where you have to give credit to the Detroit Pistons for bringing up a good fight. And it just goes to show, no matter the quality of the team, who's being out for that team specifically, with Cade Cunningham not playing, arguably they're probably their best guard. With all that being said, every single game in the NBA could be close and competitive. It doesn't matter who you're playing. So this is a victory that I'm very happy with. 1-0, we kick off undefeated in the regular season, and let's see if we can continue it over. With the next game being the New Orleans Pelicans, we all know about the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion Williamson will not be playing that game, and it's going to be in Chicago's hometown, the United Center. We versed them in the preseason. We've seen some of the things that they've been able to do. Let's see if the Chicago Bulls can go out and beat the New Orleans Pelicans once again and win our first game at home. With that being said, I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for many more Chicago Bulls games. Take care and peace.